Everything matters. How we wake up, how we dress, how we eat, how we meet, how we train, how we practice, how we rehab, how we recover, how we treat one another, how we treat everyone.
Second half, that's our style. That's what we represent. Showing that fight, showing your urgency, showing the effort and the technique and the violence that we stand for, guys.
Welcome to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh. Here is your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen here inside the studio with Bart Scott and Quincy Anunwa. What do you think about Q in the double-breasted suit?
Man, it's clean, casket sharp.
We are ready this morning. Coming up, we're going to hear from Cynthia Freeland, Brian Baldy, and we'll have the morning tea with Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg. But let me throw some double espresso at you. The Jets have won 2 in a row on the road. They have won 2 in a row overall. And as they look for a third consecutive win, Breece Hall, Jets rookie running back, saying, "We're not the old Jets. We are the Jets."
I tell you what, man, you look at Breece Hall, you look at this rookie class, and if you want to add last year's class, they're really leading this team, right? They're wise beyond their years. They're young. They're confident. And listen, they're setting their own narrative. You know, they're writing their own narrative. And I mean, if you look at this week, they'll probably have maybe the defensive rookie of the week and also the offensive rookie of the week again. They're dominating the month of September and October. And it's just a testament to the hard work and, you know, the work that they put in, and also their coaches from college. I mean, they're putting on a show right now. And if they continue to lead and play at this level, the Jets, you know, the ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. Quincy, what do you think about this new narrative for the Jets? They're finding new ways to win every week.
Yeah, they are, and it's exciting to watch, right? You look at the guys that are making plays. It's all young guys, and that's something you want to see because it's going to tell you that the future is so bright, right? You got Breece Hall making plays. You got Sauce on the other side making plays. I mean, I don't know what you wouldn't be excited about when you watch this team. So if you just continue to see these guys continue to make plays, it's just the future is so bright.
You're starting to see a young Zach Wilson become a leader, understanding that you don't have to play hero ball, understanding and trusting his teammates and putting them in positions to be great, right? And he's taking care of the football, doing what he's supposed to do. I know sometimes we throw game manager around like that's a bad thing, but it's the quarterback's job to manage the game, manage the situation. And last week, I think he got another pelt. If we were giving out like Buckeye stars on the helmet, we would give him one for going and putting his body on the line. This one's for John moment on the goal line when he went in and said would not be denied. So we got to give him a lot of credit, man. His maturity and all the hard work he did in the offseason with the Jets West or whatever he did is paying off because you can see the chemistry between him and his weapons.
Are you okay with that? Because Bart's referencing Ohio State. You played in the same conference in Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't love it, but at the end of the day, I really love what I'm seeing from Zach Wilson. I mean, that dive at the end zone, there was only a few plays where you saw him really show too much confidence, but what is that, too much confidence? I think he's going out there and you're seeing the team is rallying around him. This guy is a confident player. He's making throws that maybe he wouldn't have made last year, and I mean, I'm just loving watching it.
Bart, veteran offensive lineman Laken Tomlinson said, there is no telling what these young Jets can do. What are your thoughts?
I mean, listen, we don't know, right? We're starting to see the pieces come together. I mean, kudos to Dwayne Brown. He could have cashed in the check and said, you know what, I'm going to go get surgery. But he said, I'm going to come and battle with this young group. I committed to these guys, and I'm going to show them that I can still help. I may not be 100%, but Dwayne Brown at 80% are better than most guys in his league and using his football acumen. And now you're starting to see Vera Tucker once again. Where's Waldo, right? He's at right tackle. Eventually Fant's going to come back, and that offensive line is going to be what we envisioned before the season started. And you talk about the run game went up. Right? It wasn't a coincidence that the run game picked up to the left side. And now let's see the right side. And now what happens, you have balance offensively and defensively. Now you're starting to see 30 runs, 20 passes. That's what you want to see. A little early on, because of the circumstances, we threw the ball a little bit too much because we had to. But now you're able to shorten the game. You're able to wear these teams down. You saw Miami struggle in the fourth quarter to bring down the big back as you hit them with body blows early in the game.
All right, this guy's just getting on a roll, and so is Quincy Anunwa. Coming up, we'll go one-on-one with head coach Robert Saleh. But first, here's Cynthia Freeland.
This is Maximum Altitude with Cynthia Freeland, brought to you by NFL All Day.
Last week against the Dolphins, the Jets front earned 21 total quarterback pressures, with 17 of them coming when New York rushed 4 or fewer. That's the third most such pressures in the entire league so far this season. When you can pressure without rushing the extra man, it helps drive turnovers, where the Jets have earned the second highest interception rate at 4.6%. Carl Lawson headlined the defense with 7 pressures, including a sack and a turnover caused by pressures, for an impressive 25.9% pressure rate. Lawson has now had 4 career games with at least 7 pressures, and his 2022 totals in quarterback hits at 14 and pressures at 21 both rank 2nd and 4th respectively in the league. Lawson's individual pressure rate of 19.4% ranks 2nd in the NFL and helps drive the Jets' overall 35.6% rate, which is 3rd best in the league. Quinnen Williams and John Franklin Myers added 4 more pressures apiece and had pressure rates of over 16% last week. Pressure figures to be especially impactful in this matchup, as Aaron Rodgers has faced the most pressure through 5 weeks that he's seen in his past 8 seasons. I say at least because that's as far back as I have tracking for that stat. Only one quarterback has been sacked more on 3rd down than Rodgers, 7. And he leads the league in passing attempts at or behind the line of scrimmage at 32%, which is another signal about how pressure has been impacting the back-to-back MVP. Overall, the Jets defense is the only team to notch at least 38 quarterback hits, 12 sacks, and 7 interceptions through only 5 games. This pace is the fastest we've seen since the 2015 Broncos. Let's see how they can get after Aaron Rodgers today.
Stay tuned. We're going inside the walls with head coach Robert Saleh right after this.
You're pretty charged up after the win over the Dolphins. What is the new normal that you were talking to the players about?
You know, you win a football game. It's a lot of excitement, obviously, after winning a football game. And, you know, it was kind of a monumental win in the fact that it was a first division win in a couple of years. First, we got after it a little bit. You had coast-to-coast winning, first 2-game win streak in a while. And so there was a lot of firsts. And I just knew that, you know, the tendency is to make a bigger deal of it than it should be. It's just another game. And as quickly as we can, we have to refocus our attention out at Green Bay. And so I was really just trying to get them to understand, like, hey, I know we're young, I know we haven't had a lot of success here, but make this normal, and this is what it feels like. And just keep stacking it up where not every game, just because you won a game doesn't mean we have to treat it like we won the Super Bowl. And so hopefully we continue to stack up these little wins. We'll get to that point one day. So
last August, Carl Lawson got hurt in a joint practice with the Packers. What do you think about where he's at and how he's coming along? Last week against the Dolphins, he had 7 quarterback hits and, of course, the strip sack as well.
Yeah, he's, you know, coming back from an Achilles injury is not easy. And I say that not that I've had an Achilles injury, I experienced it with Richard Sherman. He came back in 2018 to the Niners after 1 year removed from an Achilles injury, wasn't quite himself, fought through it, and then in 2019, when he was really healthy, he showed why he's a Hall of Famer. And so it's not a 1 year and I'm healthy injury. It takes time, and so for him, I still think he's going to get better. You know, he's still going to get more explosive, even stronger as he gets comfortable, and his foot continues to get more wear on it, if you will, in terms of miles and stretching out, if you will, whatever it is. He's only going to get better as he gets healthier and more comfortable. But really excited for him because he has slowly gotten better every single week. Obviously, Miami game was awesome, but I think there's even more in the tank. So,
you and Matt LaFleur have faced each other before, but this will be the first time you will face each other as head coaches in regular season play. Can you talk about how close you guys are?
Yeah, no, we're close. Obviously, we're roommates when we were graduate assistants at Central Michigan. We know our deepest, darkest secrets, so I almost feel like we have to be friends. Too much to tell otherwise. But no, we're in each other's weddings. I mean, we're as close gets. And you know, I'd lean on him when, you know, from a coaching standpoint to ask about things and vice versa. And we're there together. But he's a tremendous man, a tremendous friend, and we've been there with each other from God for forever, it feels like now.
But how often are you guys texting and calling each other through the season? Because like when you were sick You said you were basically watching the game.
FaceTiming with him.
Yeah, you're FaceTiming him while Ron Middleton was on the sideline last year.
I would say, God, I feel like we talk about 3 or 4 times a week easily on the phone. We're always texting. I mean, it's like, it's like my brother. I talk to him all the time too. So he's, but it's almost daily, to be honest with you.
But how do you change communications during a week when you guys are actually playing against each other in regular season?
You just don't communicate.
Yeah.
We gave the call. I said, "Hey, bud," and he's, "How you feeling?" It was Monday, yesterday, and he's good. I said, "All right, man. I'll talk to you Sunday," and that's it.
So what's good inside the matchup? Aaron Rodgers, you mentioned him before. Adjusting a life without Devontae Adams, what do you see?
I still see the same Hall of Famer. He's getting comfortable with his receivers. They have a lot of talent. They can run the heck out of the ball from an offensive perspective. I think he's just fine. I know last week they kind of hit a lull in the second half, but that first half they were explosive, moving the football at ease, and they just didn't get many opportunities in the second half. But he's explosive. He's a Hall of Famer. He looks good to me.
After the break, we're back in the studio talking Jets football, and Brian Baldinger takes a look at what to expect out of the Packers. Don't go away. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen with Bart Scott, the Mad Backer, and our receiver Quincy Enunwa. What is happening with the Jets, Bart, in the fourth quarter? They lead the National Football League with 58 points scored in that final 15 minutes, and they have a scoring differential of plus 38.
I mean, you talk about the extra 60%. You talk about all gas, no brakes. That's a belief that, listen, the game goes down to the wire. And I can't reiterate enough what Cleveland meant. Cleveland meant that a game is never over. So when you have a young team, a young nucleus that believes, they're able to take it up to another notch, right? And like I said before, body blows. They're really coming out, started fast. They were able to kind of establish the running game, and that pays dividends. You talk about heavy legs. This is a young team. Like, they don't have any scar tissue, but I got chest hair older than half the players. You know what I'm saying? So listen, they're jacked up on Mountain Dew, and it's like it's so great to be young. You don't run out of energy, and I think they're just wearing their opponents out because of the energy and exuberance that they have.
Matt Backer, how about giving some love to number 57, C.J. Mosley, 100th career game last week, and of course, 10 tackles.
Exactly. I mean, you talk about CJ, he's the captain of the ship, right? He's the wily veteran over there. He's responsible for getting the close calls. He's responsible for making all the checks. He's getting guys lined up. And I think, when you talk about the depth of this team, you're going to get the benefits of the depth later in the season because everybody now is using so many snaps on their top end starters, but the Jets have such a rotation, such depth at both positions on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. We see Braxton Berrios coming in, doing his thing. Everybody comes in, everybody's contributing. So now that depth is going to pay dividends once everybody starts to wear down because the mileage levels are going to get high on other people's starters. The youth and the depth of this team is going to be a benefit in November and December.
Joe Douglas did a phenomenal job throughout the offseason shaping this roster. What can you say about the balance of the young guys and the vets they have in the room?
Yeah, I mean, the vets are leading the way. I mean, we can start with the season. Joe Flacco, he got a win for the team. That's a veteran presence you bring into the game. Zach Wilson sees what he's doing, how he's making these plays, and he follows along and gets 2 wins on his own. Then you talk about all the other positions, right? Talk about cornerback. DJ Reed is really leading that room, right? I mean, Sauce is making a lot of plays, and we love to see that. But DJ Reed is really that force in there that's making sure that his side is also locked down. So that veteran-rookie balance, veteran-young guy balance, you're seeing it in the room, and it's meshing really well.
Let's go to one of our veterans right now. Here's Brian Baldinger.
This is Baldy's Breakdown.
The Packers are a base 3-4 defense, all right? 3 defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside linebackers, Campbell and Quay Walker. In 97, Kenny Clark is a great interior nose tackle. Very explosive player, excellent at controlling the middle of the line of scrimmage. At outside linebacker, Rashawn Gary, 52, and Preston Smith are excellent. They're both tall, 6'5", both play the run very good, both very good pass rushers. Right now, when they go nickel, Jerron Reed, 90, and Kenny Clark are inside. And then they'll have Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, Garvin. They'll have a variety of guys outside. But they'll come with 4. And right here, they get to Daniel Jones. All right, Preston Smith, been excellent right here along with Jerron Reed. And then they have speed off the edge with Gary and Garvin and Preston Smith. So you have to protect the edges because they're both excellent pass rushers. They get to Daniel Jones there. And then they have speed at the inside linebacker position. The rookie, number 7, Quay Walker, and the veteran, Devondre Campbell, number 59. Both of them flow. Both flow and run very good. All right? They'll chase everything down. They're zone players. They just read and react. That's kind of like the front of the defense.
Coming up, Ethan and Caroline give us the morning tea, followed by final thoughts from the studio on today's matchup with the Packers.
You know, Ethan, Jets are 3-2, getting a lot of love from a lot of different people.
Including Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt. He has the Angry Run segment. The Scepter coming to Florham Park, going to Quinnen Williams for the stiff arm on Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that was really nice. You know what else? Rookie of the Week belt staying in Florham Park. Sauce Gardner wins it this week. That's 3 belts, 3 different rookies, all in 5 weeks here at Florham Park.
Well, one of the weeks that the Jets didn't win the award, Packers rookie wideout Romeo Doubs won it, and Doubs leads Green Bay in receptions. He's second in yards and touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers getting used to life without Davante Adams.
Everyone's talking about Aaron Rodgers, but what about the other Aaron Jones, who leads all running backs with 6.4 yards per carry, and the Jets defense is going to have to watch that because last weekend against Miami, they let Raheem Mostert rush for over 100 yards with 6.3 yards per carry.
Yeah, him, A.J. Dillon, great 1-2 punch. A.J. Dillon's quads are massive. Anyway, a lot of people talk about defense and special teams traveling. You talked about the defense. I want to talk about special teams. Justin Hardy.
Unreal.
The highest PFF grade among all teamers who have played at least 50% of the snap.
Yeah, he's performing off the charts. But Amari Rodgers, the Packers returner, 2 fumbles, 1 being last weekend against the Giants.
And Justin Hardy has forced the fumble. The Jets didn't recover it, but that's something that could be in focus this weekend.
That's the T.
That is the T.
This segment is brought to you by HCL, Supercharging Progress.
Good tea as always. Eric Allen with Bart Scott and Quincy Nunez here inside the studio. Jets Packers at historic Lambeau Field today. It's Week 6 action. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback. We know he's going to Canton. It's just a matter of when. He's adjusting to life without Davante Adams. That means a lot of Randall Cobb.
Yeah, best in the business. You talk about a lot of Randall Cobb. He was targeted 13 times last week. We know in critical moments that he's going to go to Randall Cobb. That's one of the guys that he trusts blindly. And, we know where Randall Cobb's going to be because he's not a vertical threat. What he is a guy that can make you miss in short areas. He has great short area quickness. And if he beats you across your face, he's a guy that can take short passes like a punt returner and take it to the house or big chunk plays. So we're going to do a bit of a demonstration because the heavy lifting is going to be on Michael Carter this week. You talk about Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is mainly always lined up in the slot. So Quincy's going to be Randall Cobb. I'm going to be Michael Carter. This is one of the traps that they can set for the great Aaron Rodgers. Back on the backside, you're going to be cover 5. Deep safety is going to look like cover 2. 2 high safeties, but during the snap, we're going to do something unique to try and see if we can get the great one to throw us a ball. You talk about, lining up in the slot. What you're going to try and do, if I'm Michael Carter, I'm going to line up inside leverage. So then I'm going to let Quincy beat me across my face and let him think that he's beating me, and now it's a foot race. He has me on his backside. Quincy, if you're a receiver and you have the defender on the backside, what are you thinking?
I think I've won, right? Anytime that I beat my guy like that, I'm not paying too much attention to the safety because I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers is watching that, making sure that I'm safe. But in the meantime, I got to make sure I get past this guy. Once I've beaten this guy, I know, okay, it's time to run as fast as I can and get to this ball.
And if I'm on the backside, right now, Aaron Rodgers is reading from this side too, so his vision is all to his right. He doesn't see the safety from his left because when he seen him pre-snap, he was sitting high. He was a high safety. Now he inverted. One safety's cover 1, interception, big play, opportunity for pick 6. Right now, the Jets are playing stingy defense. Let's see if they can keep that motto going.
Quincy, what do you think about on the other side of the ball, the Jets receivers going against the second-ranked pass defense in the National Football League with One of the top cornerbacks, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great challenge. You've got 3 great receivers right now. Corey Davis leading the way. You got Garrett Wilson making plays. I think this is the game that Elijah Moore should show up. A lot of times I remember when I was playing, you would have Eric Decker, B. Morris, those guys would take the big guys away, and then you'd have that third receiver to go out and make plays. Right now, Elijah Moore is that third receiver that needs to make plays, needs to step up because Zach Wilson's going to be looking for him.
Bart, you know what to do. Take us home.
The Jets on fire. Let's see if we can keep this fire going. Nice and toasty.